A sector of a circle of radius length 8 centimeters lies inside a rectangle of length 12 centimeters and height 8 centimeters as shown. So here's our rectangle, 12 by 8, and here's our sector of a circle. It has a radius of 8. Part 1, determine the measure of angle theta at the centre of the sector. So find this angle here. In part 2, taking pi to be 3.14, calculate the shaded area correct to 2 decimal places. So find the area of the grey part. So part 1, we're trying to find this angle here, angle theta. So we have a look to the left of the angle. We actually have a right angle triangle. And when we have a right angle triangle and we're trying to find an angle, we use SOHCAHTOA. So we write out the formula for SOHCAHTOA, then we start to label our triangle. So since this is the longest side of the triangle, this is going to be labelled as H, the hypotenuse. This side here opposite the angle, which I've labelled as angle X, is known as the opposite. So the other side, which is at the bottom here, is going to be labelled as the adjacent, A. So if this distance here is 12, then this distance is also 12. And if the radius is 8, then 12 minus 8 leaves us with 4. So the adjacent of our right angle triangle must be 4. So we have H and we have A. So we're going to go with K. So the K turns into cos of x equals A over H. Since we don't know the angle, we don't know what angle x is, we're going to use the inverse function of cos, so cos to the power minus 1. We get that by pressing shift cos in the calculator. A bracket opens. We're going to have A to be 4, so we have 4 as our numerator, and H to be 8, so we have 8 as our denominator. We must close the bracket, press equals, and we get 60 degrees. So angle x is 60 degrees, and since this is a straight line, and angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees, 180 minus the 60 leaves with 120. So angle theta is 120 degrees. So thus, angle theta is 180 degrees minus 60 degrees, which is 120 degrees. So part 2, we're trying to find the area of the shaded part. Okay, so let's start with the rectangle. So we have 12 by 8, gives us 96 centimeters square. That's the area of the rectangle. Then we have to get the area of the sector, the white sector. So the area of a sector is pi r squared multiplied by the angle over 360. And we got the angle to be 120 degrees. And we know that the radius is 8. So we're going to have pi to be 3.14 because that's what they told us to have it as in the question. So we have 3.14 times 8 squared times 120 over 360. 8 squared is 64. 120 over 360 is a third. And 3.14 times 64 times a third is going to be 66.99 centimeters squared. So the area of the sector is 66.99 centimeters squared. The area of the rectangle is 96 centimeters squared. So the shaded area is going to be the area of the rectangle minus the area of the sector. So 96 minus 66.99, which is 29.01 centimeters squared.